Good morning. Okay, then I would like to start. Good morning, everybody. Again, welcome to the second webinar of S2Biom. This one is about the computerized toolset testing, and we will be showing today the Beware tool. Our first webinar, which was, I think it was in end of December or beginning of January, I don't remember exactly, was about the logistics tool. And this one is about the Beware tool. And yeah, first I will give a short introduction to S2Biom in general, to the project. This may be 5 to 10 minutes. And then I will give over the presentation to therein, and he will be showing the Beware tool. And we would like that you come forward with your questions and remarks to it. And I think it's the best if we first have the presentation then from both of us, and then after that you can get your questions. So please write them down, your questions, and after that you can send them to me. You can also with a webinar, with this program, you can, so to speak, raise your hand or give me a chat message where you want to, you can also give your questions there, and I will then read them out loud. We are recording this session for our webinar videos we will be placing at our website. Okay, that was all of the technicalities. I hope you can all hear me loud and clearly. And just an advice, it would be good if all mute their microphones, so just the presenter has a microphone open. Okay, then I will start. Just a short introduction to S2Biom. The project is about delivery of sustainable supply of non-food biomass to support resource-efficient bioeconomy in Europe. The content of my presentation is given here, so I will give a short overview of S2Biom, its objectives, the project partners, and the thematic structure. Main objective is the delivery of sustainable supply of non-food biomass. The program is funded under the 7th framework program. The funding volume is 4 million. The duration is 36 months. It started in September 2013 and will end at the end of this year, August presumably. We have the project, we have 31 partners from 16 countries, and you can reach all the latest information, news, results, deliverables at our website at s2biom.eu. The objectives of the project are first, analyze the biomass potential and respective conversion pathways. Second, it's analysis of the political and policy framework in the EU28 and neighboring countries, and also the applications and sustainability criteria in these countries. Third, the development of transnational strategies, roadmaps, and toolbox to support a resource-efficient bioeconomy in Europe. And fourth, and but not last, the development of a web-based interactive tool and material for the support of the economy, and also to research and policy for local, regional, and national stakeholders. And part of that, the web-based interactive tool, you will be presented today, and you will have can have a look at that today in the second presentation. Here you see all the project partners. It's quite a lot. 31 partners from all over Europe. This one will give you a short overview of the thematic structure of the whole project. So it's separated in 3 themes with 11 work packages, or so to speak with 10 and the management work package. Theme 1 is separated into 4 work packages. The first one will give the sustainable biomass cost supply data. The second one is mostly for biomass conversion technologies for the energy and biomass products. The third work package is for the optimal logistics for sustainable non-food biomass feedstock delivery chain. And work package 4 is then the toolset itself for showing the biomass supply in an interactive way, and also to match the demand for sustainable biomass value chains. Theme 2 is about separated into also into 4 work packages, and it's about the value chain sustainability across the bio-based sector. It's work package 5. Then work package 6, we have the regulatory and financial framework to mobilize non-food biomass and to bring it then to a bio-based products and bioenergy market in Europe. Work package 7 is integrated assessment optimization of the biomass supply chain in order to satisfy the demand. And work package 8 will integrate them all together and has developed vision, strategies, and implementation plans and an R&D roadmap. Theme 3 is mostly about the regional adaptations and applications, mostly in the form of case studies. There we will, there we have the user integration and testing and validation, and it also goes into the direction of already planning the implementation for it. Then we have in work package 10, we have the stakeholder engagement and the dissemination activities and the exploitation of the results, and also the cooperation with other initiatives and with other projects. Work package 11 is the project management. This was a short overview of the S2Biom project, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact us, me, Ludger Wenzelidis, as a project coordinator, or Kalliope Panutsu from Imperial College as a scientific coordinator. You can also go to our website and yeah, direct your questions there. Yeah, thanks for your attention. This was my presentation, and I will now give over the presentation to therein. Thanks very much.
Good morning, everyone. So Yeah, now I share my screen. So now I will present you the Beware model. I will go through the different different outline. I will show you what the viewer does, what is it in comparison to the logistics tool. I will present you how we treat the input data, what we need, and present after that 3 examples of the typical results we can have from the model. This is presented for the Burgundy case study. And at the end, we will go through questions and comments. So the viewer is studying the supply chain. So the supply chain, we start from amount of available biomass, which is within the country itself, which come from other industry, can be sawmill residual, for example, or it can be imported. And we have on the other side a certain demand for heat, power, or transport food, which has to be met. And this is met either by the existing industries or by a reference system. And if your cost of production can be competitive enough against the reference system, and if there's enough biomass remaining after the use from the existing industries, then we can go ahead and build new bioenergy production plants. So the idea of the model is to find out where should those plants be, what technologies should be, how many of them, and how much of the demand can we meet or can we substitute. And this is done by analyzing the full total cost of this chain that you see in front of you, with also adding the food cost and the emissions, which is included through carbon tax. So what the model answers the following. It finds out the number of plants that should be built, what technologies, what will be the capacities, and where they should be located. And from those information, we can get a lot of further information on the cost, emissions avoided, direct emissions, economic potential of the country, different trades of feedstock or biofuel, or what policy should be implemented in order to reach a certain target or a certain substitution of the fossil fuel. So what is Beware versus, not versus, but in comparison to logistic? Logistic is also studying the supply chain, but in a different way. So Beware is optimizing the supply chain. Logistic is more simulation of the supply chain. We will see how. Beware is more focused on a more broader level, like national level, for example, whereas the logistic is more focused on a smaller scale. The grid used in Beware is rather rough, where the localistic is much finer. And Beware optimizes or try to find out where should be the optimal location of a production plant. Whereas logistic will use the location of the plants, which has been optimized by Beware, in order to simulate the supply chain and look for where the biomass should be collected from. As an example, for the Burgundy case study, here you see how the grid looks like for the Beware model. We have here in Burgundy around 370 grid points. And on the other side, in logistic, you have a much more finer grid, over 5,000 grid points. Now, if we have a look at the input data we need for Beware, starting with the biomass, which is the starting point of the supply chain. Here we studied straw and miscanthus. So I just give you show you how it looks like for straw. And every data has to be aggregated at the grid cell level. All information we can get will be will be given at the grid cell level. So the straw availability will be aggregated at the grid cell level as follows. And further information also needed, which is biomass availability, the cost of the biomass, and what is the emission of production. And all this will be at the grid level. And this information is coming from work that was done of the S2Biom project. The protected areas also can be included in the model. Here you have three types of protected areas: Natura 2000 and this zonal, this area of ecological fauna and flora interest, which is divided in type 1 and 2, depending of the protection level. And here we just made just a simple assumption that only Natura 2000 areas we cannot extract biomass, and we cannot set up any production plants. We can also say in this area we can collect 20% compared to the rest of the country, or we can play with the different shares if we want to. In terms of in terms of logistics, we use a detailed road network for BOM, where we have different categories of roads, from motorway, primary, secondary, even down to track or forestry roads if available. Here you have a very detailed road network, which is coming from the OpenStreetMap website. we simplify this road network using only the by taking away the residential roads. And from this map, we just can identify what would be the shorter path from one grid point to any other grid point of the region. And of course, you can combine that. You can combine road network with railway network, but also with boat if you go at the European level, for example. So the model will know for going from one point to the other, whether it has how much kilometer it has to go on the track, where it should load and unload the feedstock, and then whether it should go further on the train, unload and unload, and further on the ship, and so on. And for this, we all, of course, need to know the transport cost, loading and unloading cost, emission of transport, and whether or not you have some terminals for treatment stations on the way. In terms of demand, this is basically in an ideal world we will need the demand at the grid level, but this is not available. You usually have a number at the country level, and if you're lucky, you can have it at the regional level or municipality level. Here for the Bengali case, we will have it, I think, at the county level. And so we use the population data, the number of inhabitants per city, and weigh it with the consumption of power and heat, so that we can have the amount of heat needed at the grid level. And you can already see here the different heat, the hotspots, I would say, for heat and power, which are the big cities in the region. And the input needed in terms of demand would be, of course, the consumption of heat, power, transport fuel, and the different prices for the competitive fuel. And also the energy mix, whether you are more gas, petrol, or coal. This is important in order to know the emission volume. And here we use a set of different technologies for these case studies. So I just identified 5 technologies that could be suited, can be suitable for these case studies. Yes, you can see there's different. These are 5 different technologies, and they differ in terms of operating hours. So from the first row, you have a very small scale power plant, where on the last row you have the largest one, and you see there are differences in terms of heat and power production, but also in terms of efficiencies. So one is only producing heat, whether some are more produce as much as heat and power, and the other one are more producing heat and power and so on. So the idea of the model is to identify which of these technologies will be chosen and where and how many. So now if you go at the results, if you have a look at the results, so you can trigger the model, you can adapt the model to find out, for example, where should be the first plant located, or you can say, I just want to have 5 plants. So you say, okay, I want to have as many plants as possible. And here, just to give you a feeling of how the model can select the first plant. So here you see how the heat demand looks like in Burgundy. And the first plant will be actually located in this place, which is, as you can see, quite interesting because it's very high heat demand location, and you have also a high heat demand nearby. So the assumption also is that you can deliver heat in a radius of 15 kilometers, 15 to 20, and here the grid size is a 10 kilometer grid. So that means you can deliver within the grid, within the point where the plant is located, but also in the neighboring grid size. So this point actually is rather interesting if you want to look at the first one. And if you look at where the biomass is coming from, basically the biomass is coming from around the block, like from the circle around the biomass, around the biomass production. And you have the different characteristics. You can drive around 65 maximum around the plant to collect your biomass, which is mainly in these countries. Because if I remember correctly, the price of instances was much lower than flow. Here you have the information on how much power and heat you can generate. Now, if you want to maximize the number of plants you could get to substitute as much as fossil fuel as possible in the region, the picture would look like this. Basically, what it does, it just selects the high heat demand spots in the region. And you can see where the biomass is collecting from. It's not now. It's no longer a nice cycle around the plant, but it's more a nice dispatch of where the biomass is coming from in an optimized way. So that means the heat demand has a higher weight than where the biomass is coming from. And you can see as well here that the biomass is collected from a much higher radius, where you have a minimal distance of 70 for a plant. So that means one plant is collecting the biomass using a distance of 70 kilometers, and another plant is collecting biomass within a distance of 100 more than 150 kilometers. And you see here on the side that you combine two instances, and you have the total amount of power and heat generated, minimum and maximum for each of different plants. Now, what happens if you increase the biomass availability by 25% in the region? Then what you see is that there's much more smaller plants popping up. The reason for that is that those 12 plants that have been the bigger ones that have been selected, they collect all biomass that is available, and we assume 20% of the annual production that can be collected for bioenergy. If you increase to by 25%, then that's not much. That means you cannot meet the demand of the full plant. That means you can just have. It means you can just have some smaller plants, and here you combine smaller ones and very small ones. And you see here where the characteristics are for each of those plants. You see that the smaller ones are collecting biomass within a radius of 10 kilometers, and the next bigger ones are collecting biomass within a radius of 30 kilometers. So that means the bigger plants are chosen first due to the economy of scale, and increasing the feedstock availability leaves some space for smaller plants. And now, if you assume that what beware and logistic, how they are linked together, you have to. So beware, we see that it determines the optimal location of the plants, depending of the economic technical inputs, and it gives information into the logistics. So it gives information for plant location, size, technology, where the biomass used, and how far you have to collect it. What is the cost of the full of collecting the biomass, and what is the cost of your final product, and what will be the emissions avoided? So logistic will take the location of those plants and check whether or not this is feasible to have that plant at that specific location, depending on much more detailed information that can be included in this logistic tool. And so logistic can run with one or several plants. So let's say it runs with the 10 plants we already identified and say, okay, fine, we're happy with it, or no, this plant cannot be located here due to this reason, and this information gets back to beware, and we can rerun the model with omitting location of the plant, saying this plant shouldn't be here, so we take away this part, or we say this plant shouldn't collect biomass further than 200 kilometers, and we reduce the radius of collecting biomass. And once we've done several times, we look like this. At the end, we find convergence and get our final optimal results, where we are the optimal location of and optimal technology of plant in the region. Sorry. So this is for the overview of beware and logistics. And once we've gone through that, the next step for beware will be to go. Beware is already running at the European level, but we just need to extend with the Balkan country, Ukraine, and Turkey. And for this, we will have a specific focus on the case studies of the S2Biom project, and each result will be extracted at the country level. And some here you see the grid, how it looks like for Europe. It's like a 40 by 40 kilometer grid, and it will be finer from some case studies or smaller countries like Slovenia or Croatia. to have results good enough. And as I say, we will have a specific focus for the case studies, where we have very detailed input data, like Finland, Spain, the Balkan, Southeast Europe, Ukraine, and Germany. And from this, we will answer the specific questions of the different case studies. So this is it for the overview of the Beware tool, and I think you have now some questions and comments. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Sylvain. So I would say now that if you have questions, you can now present them, and best way is probably via the microphone, so directly to Sylvain. Are there any questions?
Yes, there is Klaus Lenz from Synca. I have a question. The model very much depends on the data available for biomass supply and on the data of the production chains. Is there somewhere a comprehensive overview for which regions and which type of biomass the data are available? And is there somewhere an overview on which production chains with which technical and economic data are used for the modeling?
I think this goes mainly to Bert, probably, to work actually. Because the overview of the sorry, the overview of the technology, this is compiled by Work Package 2, where you have already on the S2Biom website a very good list of the different technology and different specifics, the specification of each technology. And this is where I got this information for this case study. And information of biomass and type of supply chain, I think this is compiled in Work Package 1. And supply chain, I think Bert is still with it in Work Package 3, if I'm correct. You have to correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, you are correct. And maybe if you have a specific question, because Bert Anne Willink is also in the session, maybe he can answer these questions. Or this one question.
Yes, hello, this is Bert. Actually, so the main thing is that all the data for all the case studies should come from the different work packages, and indeed the work package 3 is about the technologies in the biomass value chain, work package 1 about the biomass, and work package 2 about the technologies, and then more or less in work package 4 these are linked together to certain value chains, and that depends on the case studies at hand. For example, in Burgundy, that will be a different value chain than in Spain or in Finland. So on this regional level, we try to talk to the stakeholders of the case and then determine what value chain will be chosen. So and that, of course, in the end, that will be also documented in the report, etc. But at this moment, we don't have a list yet of what value chains exactly will be studied. But if Klaus wants to discuss this later on, more than welcome, then we can talk about it later. Does this answer your question for now, Klaus?
Yes, it answered for now, and I think, as you know, we are in charge of this case study on Northeast Germany and Northwest Poland. I think there has been some contact already between Magda from IONG and Sylvain on this case.
Yes, I already got some information from Magda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perhaps one extra remark then, because Sylvain explained the connection between the beware model and the logistics model. So the beware model will be run for more cases than the logistics, because logistics, as Sylvain explained, requires more detailed data, etc. So we will only do that for the Finnish, the Spanish, and the Burgundy case. So that's a small adjustment to the remark I made. The change for the other cases will be then probably be determined by the stakeholders of the case and Sylvain. We can help, of course, but not all the cases will be studied in the large level of detail that logistics looks at it. Okay, that was my...
Okay. Thanks, Bert, for that. What I also wanted to say is that you can look at the email you got as an invitation. There's also the link to our biomass-tools.eu website, where you if you have the tool sets there of S2Biom, and if they are not already implemented, at least you have a description of what is envisioned for, and the definition of what material will be available at this website. So please look at the invitations you got for this webinar, and there you have already quite a lot of information also about the toolset itself, or the toolsets itself. So any more questions? Now is your chance to directly talk to the developers of the Beware and Logistic tools. Oh yeah. Niels, you want to speak?
Yes.
Yes, hello, good morning. I would be interested in the data of the existing conversion plans. Where do you get this data from? I think it's very hard to find the data in public statistics, or you need to know the region very well. Can you explain a little bit how you go forward in this respect?
Yes, I agree with you. This is very hard. This is a tricky part, because this usually the assumptions behind the technology where you can find are not the same, so it's quite hard to harmonize that. But this is the task of work package 2, and Tish who's here, maybe can help you answer this question. Here, Tish? Yes.
Hello. Yes, this is Thijs. Hi. Yes, so well, I can add a short remark to this. In the database, the conversion technology side that Sylvain just mentioned as well, we have data for at least the investment costs of the different technologies. So I assume that Sylvain took those into account. Yeah, and then apart from that, we have data for other inputs like energy requirements, etc. But operational costs, for example, depend very much on a location in Europe. For example, whether labor costs are different in Eastern Europe than in. So we didn't take those up in the database. So yeah, that depends very much on the regional situation. And Sylvain, perhaps you have taken them into account somehow?
Yes, I took that into account. Here for Bulgaria it was quite simple, because it's just one country, and the cost of the labor and so on, the materials in the region. But when you go at the European level, then you need this information, how much is the labor and so on. And this we already have this information, and this will be included in the calculation for to know the production cost.
Even for the new plants that your model is trying to decide upon. But the question is the existing conversion plants that are already.
Yeah, for the existing conversion plants, I don't take that into account. What is taken into account is just how much biomass they require. So whether after we met the biomass need of those plants, how much do we have left, and how do we allocate the biomass between the existing plant and with the new possible ones. So we have a cost which is fixed, the cost of the heat or power, which are competitive, which is market price basically, and the new plants have to be competitive enough to produce heat or power, and if not, usually you add some carbon tax or subsidies, so you can play with those policy tools, but we do not take into account the production cost of the existing plants. Does it answer your question? Probably not, but that's the way we treat it in the model.
Okay, Niels, was it okay? Okay, we have another question from Wim Verdeyen. I hope I pronounced it all right.
Hello. Okay, thanks. I have a question regarding the technology aspect regarding the interoperability of the system with other systems and the sharing of the results and the data via maybe open data principles. Is this envisioned in the project? I'm looking, for example, on the bioeconomy observatory, and there I think it would be maybe a potential to see how we could integrate data and how we could share this data. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for that question. Yeah, all our deliverables.
Hello.
Oh yeah, you want to talk? Yeah, you can do it, Poppy. No problem.
No, you go ahead and I'll explain the detail. Good morning.
Yeah.
You go ahead with the.
Okay, it's all deliverables are public, so you can get all the data, and also the data that is at the biomass-tools.eu platform. It's available to download, and we are already in contact with the biomass bioeconomy observatory. So in the end, this data will be, we still have to arrange how exactly it will be transferred to the BISO. And so it's, yeah, we just have to say that it's really available to the public and it should be used. And we are also in the process that the data will be updated after the project is finished. So it's really up to date and not some old data on a website and nobody's able to use it. So maybe now, yeah, Poppy, that you can also say something.
Yeah, just to add, thank you. Yeah, just to add, we have already started the procedure for understanding how we can transfer the data. You have to bear with us because these are large data sets and we are going through validation and checking at the moment, but the procedures we have agreed and between the Bioeconomy Observatory and also the new program that they will run after 2016 and S2Biom.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks. Any more questions? Oh. Okay. If there are no more
I
questions.
still have one question.
Yeah, sure. Speak.
No.
Go ahead.
Yes. There is one European project which is targeting the landscape biomass. So biomass originating from road maintenance and so on. And I wonder whether one of these very detailed regional models could be applied to this kind of biomass and its utilization.
Shall I try to answer that, Ludger?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Bert.
Are you referring to the Green Gain project? Is my question first?
Exactly.
Yeah. So one of the partners of the S2Biom project, Circe in Spain, they are also chairing this Green Gain project.
Yes.
And actually, we are also working with them together on the Spanish case for the logistics, anyhow. So this is an issue that could be discussed there. Perhaps they're not in this in the S2Biom project, but as we are developing tools here that should be used in other projects, if possible, then this could be an option.
Okay, Circe is in S2Biom and it is in Green Gain, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
Yeah. FNR2.
Oh yeah, thank you very much for that information.
Mm-hmm. Okay, any more questions? Okay, if not, I would come to a conclusion of this webinar. Thanks very much for your attention and for your participation in the presentation. As I told you, we are recording this webinar. We will we are now in the process of producing tutorial videos for the tool sets, and we will be using this webinar to give an impression of the tool. And so in the end, you can download and have a look at this from our website, which is s2biom.eu. And this website is should be also your place for if you want to have the latest information about S2Biom and the latest news. So you can go to this website. I'm just changing the presenter so you can see it there, and go to this website. And if you have questions directly, you can also give me an email or call me, and I can then direct you to one of our project partners who is responsible and who will give you the right answer. Yeah, and thanks very much for your attention, and thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, then, yeah.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Oh, there's one question. Okay.